Hey friends, welcome to my presentation on how to calculate the cable size correctly. By the end of this presentation, you will be able to understand the criteria and steps to be followed for sizing an electrical cable. An electrical cable is an assembly of one or more wires running side by side or bundled, which is used to carry electric current. Cables are used to connect two or more electrical devices, thus allowing transfer of electricity from one device to the other. Let us now first understand why it is important to size the cable correctly. If the cable is undersized, it will be inadequate to carry the rated load current, resulting in heating of the cable and in extreme cases, burning of the cable. Cable size should be such that the load is provided with a suitable voltage. That is, there is only a minimum voltage drop. Cable with a small diameter will have a higher resistance and will cause more voltage drop across the cable. On the other hand, if the cable is oversized, it will require more material to be used in its construction, causing the cable to be more expensive. Larger pathways or cable trays may be required if multiple oversized cables are running parallelly. Even the cable tray filling may become an issue if we are installing an oversized cable on an already tightly loaded cable tray. We may also face termination issues at equipment terminal ends in case an oversized cable is selected, as equipment terminals may not be adequate for terminating the large cable. Installation of cables may also be an issue, as oversized cables will have larger bending radius. Let us now check the criteria to be followed for proper sizing of an electrical cable. There are three things we need to ensure for a proper sizing of a cable. First, the cable should be able to withstand the short circuit current flowing in the cable in case of a fault. Second, cable should be able to operate continuously under full load without getting heated or damaged. And lastly, cable should be able to provide the load with a suitable voltage. That is, the voltage drop should be within acceptable limits. Let us now understand each of these criteria in detail. The short circuit criteria defines the minimum cross section of the cable. Now, the cable cross section should be such that it should be able to withstand the fault current flowing through the cable for the entire duration of the fault. The minimum cross section of the cable conductor due to short circuit temperature rise is given by the formula S is equal to Ik into root of T by K, where S is the area of the conductor in square mm. The K is a short circuit factor which is dependent upon the cable conductor and the insulation material. Now T is the fault duration in seconds and Ik is the fault current in amps. From the table given for short circuit factor, it can be seen that for a certain fault current and fault duration, copper conductor and XLP insulation combination will give the minimum cable conductor cross section. Now these values are obtained from BS 7671 table 43.1 or from table A.54.2 of IEC 60364 and are suitable for a duration of up to 5 seconds. Let us consider an example where we need to calculate the size of a 11 kV cable feeding a 1250 kilowatt motor as shown in the diagram. The cable is installed directly buried in ground. Therefore, we have Ik, the fault current in amps, equal to 40,000 amps, where the fault current is equal to the maximum short circuit current flowing through the cable in case of a fault. Then we have T is equal to fault withstand duration in seconds, which is equal to 0.18 seconds. Now, how do we arrive at the fault withstand time in this case? Fault withstand time is equal to protection relay operating time plus circuit breaker operating time. Considering high set instantaneous overcurrent as the main protection, the short circuit fault clearance time shall be in the order of 0.1 seconds. Relay operating time instantaneous is generally 0.05 seconds plus breaker operating time is 0.06 seconds. So this is equal to 0.11 seconds. However, as a precaution, it is a normal cable sizing practice to assume a fault clearance time of between 0.14 seconds to 0.2 seconds. In our case, we have considered it as 0.18 seconds. And the K is the short circuit factor for copper conductor and XLP insulation, which is equal to 143 as per table A.54.2 of IEC 60364-5-54. Entering the value of IK, T and K in the formula, we have the minimum cross section of the cable as 118.675 square mm. Hence, the next higher cross section of 120 square mm is selected. Therefore, the cable cross section based on short circuit temperature rise is selected as 1 3 core 120 square mm. Once the minimum cable cross section is known through the short circuit criteria, we now need to check the same through the ampacity criteria and the voltage drop criteria. Ampacity, or the current carrying capacity of a cable, is the maximum current that can flow through a cable continuously. Ampacity of a cable for a given conductor size is determined by the design of the cable and the conditions under which it is installed. Continuing with our example of the 11 kV cable feeding a 1250 kilowatt motor, we have the full load current equal to 1250 into 1000 divided by root 3 into 11,000 into 0.9 into 0.8, where the motor efficiency is equal to 0.9 and the motor power factor is equal to 0.8, and we arrive at a full load current of 91.12 amps. The cable cross section should be so selected that it should be able to carry the full load current in the condition the cable is installed. International standards and cable manufacturers provide derating factors for a range of installation conditions like the ambient temperature, the soil temperature, the grouping or bunching of cables, soil resistivity, etc. The installed current rating is calculated by multiplying the base current rating with each of the derating factors. To select the suitable cable, the cable ampacity after incorporating derating factors should be capable of carrying the load current. Therefore, cable current rating into derating factors should be greater than the load current. We can obtain the current rating of the 3-core XLP cable from Table 6 of IEC 60502-2 for cables with rated voltage from 3.6/6 kV to 18/30 kV. It can be seen from Table 6 of IEC 60502-2 that the current rating of 3-core 120 square mm cable installed directly in ground is 298 amps. Let us now calculate the various derating factors for the 11 kV cable laid directly buried in ground. The current carrying capacity of cables installed in ground, whether directly or in an underground enclosure, is slightly less than the same cable installed in air. Heat dissipation from the cable to the soil is restricted based on the depth of laying and thermal resistivity of the soil, thereby limiting the maximum current that can be carried by the cable. So K1, which is the correction factor for ambient ground temperature at 40 degrees centigrade. The ground temperature in our example is considered as 40 degrees C. We have, as per table B.11 of IC 60502-2, K1 equal to 0.85, which is the correction factor for ambient temperature, ambient ground temperature at 40 degrees centigrade. K2 is the correction factor for grouping of cables. Cables are generally installed in groups. Grouping cables inhibits the free circulation of air around each cable. This reduces the ability of the cable to dissipate heat to the surroundings and promotes the mutual heating of the cables in the group. Also, electromagnetic field around the conductors in a group is created when the current flows, which causes the cable ampacity to decrease. Considering for our example that the multi-core cables shall be installed in a group of 6 cables with a spacing of 400 mm, we have the correction factor K2 as 0.74 from table B.18 of IEC 60502-2. K3 is the correction factor for depth of laying of the cable. Thermal resistance impact for the soil surrounding the cable usually increases with the burial depth. Therefore, the current carrying capacity reduces as the cable is buried deeper in the soil. Considering that the 11 kV cable in our example is laid at the depth of 1 meter in the ground, we have the correction factor for depth of laying as 0.98 as per table B.12 of IC 60502-2. K4 is the correction factor for soil thermal resistivity. Soil thermal resistivity is the resistance to the heat flow between the cable and the ambient environment of the soil. Increase in thermal resistivity of the native soil considerably reduces the current carrying capacity of the cable. Considering that the 11 kV cable in our example is laid in a soil with thermal resistivity of 2.5 Kelvin meters per watt, we have K4 equal to 0.83 as per table B.16 of IC 60502-2. The overall derating factor Kt is equal to K1 into K2 into K3 into K4, and it works out as 0.511. Therefore, the installed cable rating, which is equal to cable current rating into derating factor, is equal to 298 into 0.511 amps, and this works out as 152.28 amps. We can now see the following. Full load current flowing through the cable is equal to 91.12 amps, and the installed current rating of 3 core 120 square mm cable is equal to 152.28 amps. Therefore, the installed current rating is greater than the full load current. Hence, the 3 core 120 square mm cable has been selected correctly with respect to the cable ampacity. Next, we should check the cable size with respect to the voltage drop criteria. A cable's conductor is an impedance, and as a result, whenever current flows through a cable, there will be a voltage drop across it. Cable size should be checked with respect to the maximum voltage drop across the cable, as the load will have an input voltage tolerance range. If the voltage at the load is lower than its rated minimum voltage, then the load will not be able to operate properly. The formula for percentage voltage drop during running condition and during motor starting condition are as given in the presentation, where Vd is equal to voltage drop during running condition, Vdst is equal to voltage drop during motor starting condition, IL is the full load current, IST is the motor starting current, cos phi is the power factor under running condition, cos phi st is the power factor during starting condition, L is the length of the cable in meters. N is equal to number of runs of the cable. V is the nominal system voltage. And R and X are the resistance and inductance of the cable. The maximum allowable voltage drop for the cable between the 11 kV switchgear and the motor under running and starting conditions are considered as 5% and 15% respectively. For our example, we have the full load current equal to 91.12 amps, the motor starting current equal to 592.28 amps considering direct online starting, power factor equal to 0.8, power factor during starting equal to 0.25, length of the cable in meters is equal to 450 meters, number of runs of the cable equal to 1, the nominal system voltage is equal to 11,000 volts, R equal to 0.195, X equal to 0.098. Incorporating the values of IL, cos phi, length of cable, etc. in the voltage drop formula, we have the percentage voltage drop under running condition equal to 0.139% and voltage drop during motor starting condition equal to 0.603%. It can be seen that the voltage drop during running as well as during motor starting condition are within the maximum allowable voltage drop limits. Hence, it can be concluded that the cable has been selected correctly with respect to the voltage drop criteria. This concludes my video on how to size an electrical cable. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in case you have any questions or comments. If you would like to see more such videos on electrical topics, please subscribe to my channel and share with your friends and colleagues. Also, don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything.